Alrighty, folks, happy Wednesday to you, and welcome to our NFL Free Pick video here today for Week 16 of the 2024-2025 season. We'll actually be covering the Sunday games in this video. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you want to see which one of these free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my NFL package on my premium page. And real quick, just got to give a big shout out to all you Gold Club members out there, because you guys cashed in on 6 more tickets on our premium page yesterday. We had Memphis in college football, Coastal Carolina in college basketball, South Carolina, Florida Gators, Drexel. We also cashed in on the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA. And that winning day is going to put us at 4-0 in our last 4 daily best plays, 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks, 2-0 in our last couple of college basketball tier package plays, 3-0 in our last 3 chairman package picks. And it's also going to put us at 6-1 with a push in our last 8 Gold Club tier package picks in that membership alone. And with that, folks, we are going to dive right into some free content here. We're going to start off with the Cardinals taking on the Panthers, 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff on Sunday. Arizona's minus 3.5, totals 44. The Cardinals are 7-7 straight up, 9-5 against the point spread. Carolina 3-11 overall, 6-8 against the number. This Carolina defense allows more points a game than any other team in the league. And when it comes to slowing down the run, well, they don't do a great job of it. Carolina allows a league worst 173 yards a game on the ground. And they're facing an Arizona squad who's 7th in the league in rushing, 5.1 yards per carry. They're also doing a nice job protecting Kyler Murray, and they rarely commit infractions on offense. As a matter of fact, the Cards commit fewer penalties a game on offense than any other team. Now, weather-wise, it'll be clear but chilly in Charlotte. We're looking at about 40 degrees or so at kickoff with a slight breeze. I don't think that's going to be overly troublesome for Arizona. Maybe if it was a little bit colder, I'd be concerned, but I think they'll be all right in that 40-degree weather. Now, total-wise, the Panthers saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the number, 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Cards saw overs in their last 2 straight themselves, overs against the likes of New England and Seattle, like Arizona, minus 3.5, over 44. All right, next contest, Browns, Bengals, 1 o'clock East. Cincinnati's minus 8, totals 47. We saw a 1-point move towards Cincinnati. They opened at 7, up to 8. Having said that, though, even though they're favored by a score, I do have concerns about this Cincinnati defense. These guys allow more points a game than any other team in the AFC, and their pass rush has been pretty anemic. These guys are second to last in the league in sacks, 27th in passing defense. And even though the Browns on the other side have been pretty abysmal themselves, there are a few things they actually do well on defense. For one, they're limiting opposing quarterbacks to just 18 completions a game. That is second best in the NFL. And no real surprise, they're limiting opposing offenses to under 61% passing. They do tend to tighten up late in games. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Browns' last 5 outings did get over the total. Since he's 6-1 to the over in their last 7. I think the Browns can keep it, within a score going against the Cincy D. This is more of a fade of the Bengals. Give me Cleveland plus 8 over 47. All right, next game, Lions-Bears, 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff. Detroit's minus 6 away from home, totals 48. And we did see a 0.5-point fade of the Lions. They opened 6.5 down to 6. Detroit is 12-2 straight up, 9-5 against the point spread. Chicago just 4-10 overall, 6-8 against the number. But more recently, the Bears just continue to struggle. Losers of their last 8 straight, just 2-6 against the spread during that time frame. When it comes to offensive production or lack thereof, these guys are gaining fewer yards a game than any other team. They're currently averaging a league worst 4.8 yards per play from scrimmage. And when it comes to this passing game, the Bears are throwing for just $181 a game. That's second worst in the NFL. And unfortunately for them, this Detroit defense is limiting opposing quarterbacks to just 61% passing. They're second in the entire league in defensive quarterback rating. Now, weather-wise, 29 degrees and breezy in the Windy City. When it comes to the total, 5 out of Chicago's last 7 ball games did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Detroit went 4-3 to the under in their last 7 themselves. Give me the Lions -6, under 48. All right, next contest, Rams-Jets, 1 o'clock East. The Rams are -3.5 away from home. Total's 46.5. And even though the Rams have been playing some pretty good football here recently, I do have some concerns about them offensively in this one. And more specifically, it's the running game. It's running the football. These guys are rushing for just 3.9 yards per carry. That puts them 29th in the league in that particular stat. And they're facing a Jets defense who's actually 6th in the league in yards allowed per rush themselves, doing a nice job stopping the run game. They're also 10th in the league in sacks, and, they do a pretty good job defending the pass. They're allowing just $193 a game through the air. They are a top 5 passing defense. I also think the cold's going to be a factor here for the visitors. It's going to be just 24 degrees and windy by game time in East Rutherford. Those are not conditions complimentary to an indoor team. Now, total-wise, the Jets saw unders against the likes of the Cardinals, Texans, and Vikings. Meanwhile, the Rams saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. Give me the Jets +3.5, under 46 and a hook. All right, next game, Giants-Falcons, 1 o'clock East. Atlanta's -9, total's 42.5. We did see a half a point fade to the Falcons, open 9.5. Atlanta 7-7 straight up, 5-9 against the point spread. And more recently, the Falcons failed to cover in their last 5 straight. The offenses look pretty pathetic. And it does look like Atlanta's making the switch to Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback. I guess a rookie quarterback's better for the team in this spot here. I don't know. I kind of disagree with the decision, but, I guess they're figuring it can't get worse. But, even when it comes to defensive play, the Falcons just haven't been good enough on D either. Their pass rush is dead last in the league in sacks. And because of that, their secondary allows opposing quarterbacks to complete 71% of their throws. That is also a league worst. And if you think, Penix is going to have an easy one in his debut here, well, he's going up against a formidable pass rush. Don't, sell the Giants short. The G-men are 6th in the league in sacks, 7th in passing defense. When it comes to the total, 5 out of the Giants' last 9 outings did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Atlanta went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves. Give me the G-men +9, under 42.5. All right, next game, little divisional action here. Eagles-Commanders, 1 o'clock East. Phillies -3 on the road, totals 45. Birds are 12-2 straight up, 9-5 against the point spread. Washington, 9-5 straight up themselves, but they did fail to cover in 4 out of their last 5. And I do have concerns about this Washington defense. They're 25th in rushing defense, and they do have problems defending the pass as well. They're currently 27th in defensive quarterback rating, and they're facing an Eagles team who's on an absolute roll right now. Jalen Hurts, he's completing nearly 70% of his throws. Saquon Barkley's rushed for almost 1,700 yards already. Meanwhile, on the defensive end, the Eagles are allowing a league-low 17 points a game. They're allowing fewer total yards per contest than any other team. Now, total-wise, Philly did see overs recently against the likes of the Rams, Jags, and Bengals. Meanwhile, Washington saw overs in 4 out of their last 6. Give me Philly -3, over 45. All right, next game, some more divisional action here. Titans, Colts, 1 o'clock East. Indies -3, totals 42.5. Now the Colts are 6-8 straight up, 8-6 against the point spread. Tennessee 3-11 overall, 2-12 against the number. And the Titans, they've been absolute turnover machines on offense this season. Second most interceptions, second most fumbles. They're also committing more penalties a game on offense than any other team except for one. And they're facing an Indy team on the other side who got the W in 2 out of their last 4. I'll be honest, there's not many things they do well, but there are a couple things they do well on offense. Listen, not much, but definitely a few things. For one, they're averaging just 41 penalty yards a game on offense. That is a league low, so they don't really shoot themselves in the foot much. I always like to call those penalties drive stoppers. And they're also doing a nice job protecting the quarterback. They're 6th in sacks allowed, 5th in yards per completion. Now, 5 out of the Colts' last 9 did fall under the line. Meanwhile, Tennessee saw unders recently against the likes of the Vikings, Patriots, and Jacksonville. Give me the Colts -3, under 42.5. All right, next game, Vikings, Seahawks, getting into that afternoon slate, that 4 o'clock slate. That's going to be a 4:05 Eastern kickoff. Minnesota's -3, totals 42. The Vikes are 12-2 straight up, 10-4 against the point spread. Seattle 8-6 overall, 6-8 against the number. And this Seattle defense definitely commits an awful lot of penalties, and they've struggled stopping the run. They're 25th in the league in yards allowed per rush. And they're facing a Vikings offensive unit who's had little problems moving the football themselves. Top 10 in yards per play from scrimmage, top 5 in QB rating. Pretty much, with this game, my biggest concern for the Vikes, it's going to be weather. It's going to be rainy and windy in Seattle on Sunday. Actually looks like Seattle, they're getting weather from Thursday all the way into the following week. So typical Seattle weather this time of year. Now, total-wise, the Seahawks saw overs in 2 out of their last 3 games. Minnesota saw overs recently against the likes of Atlanta, Chicago, and the Rams. Give me Minnesota -3 over 42. All right, next game, Toilet Bowl, Jags Raiders, 425 East. Vegas is 1.5, totals 40 and a hook. We saw a 0.5 point move toward the Raiders, maybe a little bit overreaction from their somewhat competitive game against Atlanta here on Monday night. But anyway, the Raiders opened as the 1-point favorite, up to 1.5. Now, folks, Vegas is just 2-12 overall for the year, 5-9 against the point spread. Jacksonville, 3-11 straight up, but 8-6 against the number. They have done a decent job covering the point spread this year. I get this is a super short number, but out of Jacksonville's last 8 ball games, they successfully covered in all of those contests except for 2. And, listen, I really can't say a lot good about Jacksonville. This is a terrible football team. Not really much they do well. But the one thing I can say, at least on offense, they're 7th in sacks allowed, 3rd in fewest penalty yards. And they're facing a Vegas defense who gives up 27 points a game themselves. Rarely takes the ball away. Not a whole lot of takeaways for these guys. Not overly opportunistic. And when it comes to defending the pass, well, the Raiders are 26th in defensive quarterback rating. Now, total-wise, the Raiders saw unders in their last 3 straight. Jacksonville saw unders in 3 out of their last 5. Give me the Jags +1.5, under 40 and a hook. Next contest, Patriots Bills, 425 East. Buffalo's -14, totals 47. Bills are 11-3 straight up, 9-5 against the point spread. Pats just 3-11 straight up, 5-9 against the number. The Pats lost their last 4 straight. Worst passing team in the league. They're throwing for a league worst 173 yards a game, bottom 3 in total yards. And they're facing a Bills team on the other side who's yet to lose a game at home, doing a great job in their own building. They're in the top 10 in interceptions on D. You just kind of have to dink and dunk against these guys. They will allow their fair share of passing yards, but they haven't been overly susceptible to big chunk plays. Buffalo's 7th in yards allowed per completion. Now, weather should be a factor in this one. Looks like it's going to be about 15 degrees and snowy in Orchard Park. But listen, Buffalo's proven they can move the ball efficiently in the snow, and they do play tough defense. They did that a couple of weeks ago against San Francisco. Now, total-wise, the Bills did see unders recently against the Niners. That was that snow game. Also unders recently against the Seahawks and the Texans. Meanwhile, New England saw unders recently against the likes of the Bears and Titans. Give me Buffalo minus 14, under 47 in the tight window. All right, next contest, Niners, Dolphins, 425 East. Miami's -1, totals 44.5. And both teams, identical records. They're 6-8 straight up. They're both 5-9 against the point spread. When it comes to the total, 5 out of the Fins' last 8 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, the Niners on the other side, they saw overs in 3 out of their last 4 themselves. Overs against the likes of Chicago, Buffalo, and Green Bay. And for those of you who are living in most parts of the country, just a reminder, it's going to be a beautiful 72 degrees in South Florida at game time on Sunday. I do think we'll see a fun matchup in this one. Of course, if you want to see if I'm making a play on the money line or against the point spread in this one, this game is being featured as one of my NFL tier package plays on my premium page. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I like the over 44. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Bucs-Cowboys game. That'll be an 8:20 Eastern kickoff. Tampa Bay's -3.5 away from home. Totals 48. Tampa Bay 8-6 straight up, 9-5 against the point spread. Dallas 6-8 overall, 5-9 against the number. This Dallas defense is allowing nearly 28 points a game, and they're committing more penalties on defense than any other team in the league. They're currently allowing 6.1 yards per play from scrimmage. That's second worst in the entire NFL. They're also giving up more yards per pass attempt than any other secondary besides one. And they're facing a red-hot Tampa team who won their last 4 straight, covered in 5 out of their last 6. Quarterback Baker Mayfield's completing 71% of his throws, and the Bucs are now second in the league in yards per rush, 4th overall in scoring. Now, total-wise, 7 out of the Bucs' last 9 ball games did get over the total. Dallas went 6-3 to the over in their last 9 themselves. Give me Tampa Bay -3.5, over 48. With that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like Arizona -3.5, over 44. Cleveland +8, over 47. I'm 4-0. My last 4 daily best plays on my premium page. Lions -6, under 48. Jets +3.5, under 46 and a hook. Giants +9, under 42.5. Eagles -3, over 45. Colts -3, under 42.5. Vikings -3, over 42. Jaguars +1.5, under 40 and a hook. Bills -14, under 47. I like the over 44 in the Niners-Dolphins game. And give me the Buccaneers -3.5, over 48. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. That's why I was telling folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And of course, there are other games during the week. We got a Thursday game, couple Saturday games, and obviously the Monday Night Football game. So we didn't cover every single game on the slate here this week, but we did cover the Sunday games in this particular video. I'm sure the other remaining games, the Thursday, the Saturday, the Monday, I'm sure those games could potentially appear on the premium page on those days respectively. But once again, folks, really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.